The NBA 2K27 MyPlayer Builder Breakdown, not gonna waste.
Oh yeah, we got the MyPlayer Builder for 2K27.
The NBA 2K27 MyPlayer Builder Breakdown, not gonna waste any time. All I ask is that you take a second and drop a like on the video. Let's get straight into it.
Let's go!
Male or female now. If you do pick female, you can only play in the city. If you want to play My Career or Eras, you have to pick a male player. Next, you have the choice to create your own or pick from a template build. We're going to create our own, obviously, because we're trying to break down this builder. Enter your vitals, and let's get straight to it. With pure green windows being smaller and MDH website data only 5 sec. Base for MDH lab enough. The next screen, you have your 3 tabs up top. Your Attributes tab, your Badges tab, and your Body Types tab. On the Badges tab, not only can you see the badge levels as you adjust your height, weight, wingspan, but
It seems like wingspan don't affect nothing. Wait, actually, it does.
you can also see how many badge tokens each badge is going to cost. More on that later. You'll notice that although visually a lot of the attribute stuff looks the same, it is actually different. For example,
I need to look at this. Okay, now wingspan does affect. Alright, bet. I like that.
Last year on a 6'8" minimum wingspan, minimum weight player, you could get 95 perimeter. This year it's only 87. You'll notice that adjusting your wingspan and your weight has a much more drastic effect on not only perimeter, but also on your driving dunk. The lower the wingspan, the harsher the penalty on your driving dunk this year. The lower the weight, the harsher the penalty on your perimeter. But you'll notice something. As I keep scrolling through the heights here, I'm just seeing, like, at any point, you know, at any height, does it start to change how the weight and the wingspan affect those attributes? And as I go up the heights here, you'll notice once I get to 6'10" and up, lowering the weight actually raises your perimeter. So it's like the cutoff for big men, I guess. Like, you know, a lighter big man is going to have better perimeter defense than a heavier big man. But on 6'9", 6'8", 6'7", 6'5", 4, 3, the lower, like the more kind of wing guard players, the lower your weight, it lowers your perimeter. So that's something to keep in mind as you're making your builds this year. You know, last year on a 6'8" player, there really was no penalty for going low weight, low wingspan. Low weight, low wingspan would have a 95 perimeter, and then if you upgraded it to max wingspan, you'd only have a 96 perimeter. This year, it's a lot more harsher penalty on those wings and guards if you're going minimum weight and minimum wingspan. So definitely something to consider when making your build. But here's the example that I was talking about. Right now I'm getting into the power forwards, and you know, I'm looking at, you know, the 6'9" power forward, and I notice, okay, like, the attributes are still reacting the same to when I lower the weight, lower the wingspan. But once I get to 6'10" and I lower that weight, I'm like, perimeter is now going up. So just a threshold that I noticed in terms of a height cutoff, in terms of how weight affects your attributes. So when you're looking at your attributes, although visually it may look the same, make sure you're paying attention to how things react, because there are differences between the 26 builder and the 27 builder in attributes. Once you finalize your physicals and advance to the next screen, now you're going to put your attributes on. On the right side of the screen, if you click triangle or Y, you can...
Well, how did he go? Badge. This has to be like 6...
And the 27 builder and attributes. Once you finalize
your
physicals and advance to the next screen, now you're going to put your attributes on. On the right side of the screen, if you click triangle or Y, you can go from relevant badges to all badges. And this might have some value this year because a lot of badges have been split. Like the offensive rebound and defensive rebound badge has been split. The midi shooting badges and the three-point shooting badges have been split. So remembering
it looked like they brought quick draw back
attributes, you can use the relevant badges tab to, you know, make sure you understand what's going on, or you can keep it on all badges and just see what goes up as you put up each attribute. Another thing a lot of people kept asking was what determines your badge tokens. Where you put your attributes determines how many badge tokens you're going to get in each category. You know, if you max out your shooting, you're going to get the maximum amount of shooting badge tokens.
Dang, he went 93 ball, and all he's getting is shooting. All he's getting is silver shooting badges. Wow.
With other categories, right? So not only pay attention to badge thresholds and what attributes you want to get, but also pay attention to, you know, maybe sometimes...
Where should I move my camera, bro? Like... Or should I just make it smaller?
one more tick up on an attribute might get you an extra badge token. Just something to keep in mind as you're making your build. Now, when you click in the left stick, you're going to get a lot of tabs to pop up that are going to help you. The first one is the badges tab. It shows you every badge in the game and the attribute requirement for each level, the height threshold, everything you could want. You can scroll from each category: finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense, rebounding, physical, everything you could want. The attribute requirement for each level, the height threshold, everything you could want. You can scroll from each category: finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense, rebounding, physicals. Now pay close attention to badge thresholds because a lot of the rating requirements for certain badge levels has changed. You will notice if you pay attention compared to last year's builder. You'll also notice that Hoff badges are the highest level you can unlock through attributes. There is a way to push your badge levels all the way to legend, but we're going to talk about that later when we get to the badge screen. But I'm going to scroll through all of these, and at the end of it, there is also all the takeover options and their requirements. So if you want to pause this and look at it, you can. I'm going to let this run through, and then I'm going to come back when we get to the next tab.
Interesting.
Moving on to the next tab, the animations tab. This is where you're going to see the attribute requirement for every animation in the game, and you're going to want to pay attention because a lot of your favorite moves rating requirements has changed. For example, Kevin Durant go-to shot is now a 94 shot rating to unlock it. Even dribble moves. You know, a popular escape last year was the SGA escape. That is now a 91 ball handle requirement. So if you're making your build and you're like, oh, I'm going to go to, you know, an 85 ball handle because that's what I need for these moves, you might want to double check because although, you know, the moves might have the same name and the same animation tied to them, the attribute requirement to unlock them could be different. So definitely utilizing this animation tab while you're creating your build to make sure you get the SIGs that you want is going to be valuable. The next tab is your cap breakers tab, but you can't view your cap breakers unless you upgrade your attributes and are a 99 overall in the builder. So I'm going to show you, I'm just going to put up some stuff here. I'm not actually like taking the time to make a good build, so please do not copy this. I'm just putting the attributes up so we can see that the cap breakers show up. I would rather you be able to see the cap breakers as you make your build, similar to how that website was last year that a lot of us used, where you could see like as you put up each attribute how the cap breakers changed.
This is actually a great
overall to be able to
addition.
see the cap breaker amounts. You know, it's definitely a nice addition, but it's not exactly executed to the best way possible in my opinion. But when you hit 99 overall in the attribute screen, you can scroll over to your cap breakers tab and now see them in the builder. Moving on to when you actually put on your badges and decide what you want to use, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible, but there is a lot of things to consider when we get...
Next badge token. Wow. So based off this build, he went high finishing, high shooting, high rebounding, mid playmaking, mid defense. I don't know actually.
These, you know, kind of all the stuff going on here. So bear with me. It's going to take a little bit, but I think you're going to learn a lot and it's going to help you actually understand how to utilize this to the best of your ability. When you get to this screen, this is where, you know, it shows you how many badge tokens you have in each category. Obviously, in this version, we actually had max badges, but when you make your build in the game, you're obviously going to have to grind to unlock those badge tokens. So when you click on badges for the first time, they give you a little tutorial. Each discipline has its own badge slots where related badges can be equipped. Earn badge tokens in games, practice, and workouts. Meet a badge's attribute requirements, then spend tokens to equip it in a slot. Attribute requirements and token cost are shown here. Meet both to equip the badge. So the first part is pretty self-explanatory. Badge tokens. We've had similar things in past 2Ks where each badge has a specific cost. You have a certain number of badge tokens in each discipline. You have to decide which badges you want to spend your tokens on. It's not like 2K26 where just every badge that your build meets the requirement for, you're going to have. You have to actually decide which badges you want to put on. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on with bonus slots, bonus tokens, the synergy with fuse and reaction badges, and how it all ties together with +1s and 2s and getting token refunds, and it's a whole lot. So bear with me. This part is relatively simple, deciding which badges you want to put on initially, and then we're going to keep going, and I'm going to try to simplify all this as best as possible so that when y'all start making your builds, you understand. Alright, so just going through, seeing what badges I want to spend my tokens on. But once we click in that R3 button, we're getting more tutorials about what's going on. Bonus slots are earned through prizing and can be moved to any discipline at any time. Bonus tokens are also earned from prizing and can be moved to any discipline at any time. Alright, so here's a perfect example. In my defense category right now, I only have 2 badge tokens available, but I need 3 for Silver High Flying Denier. So I'm going to go over to my bonus badge slots. I'm going to apply one of those bonus badge tokens to the defense category, giving me 3 defense tokens available, which then I can apply and unlock the Silver High Flying Denier. That is going to be a theme across all your categories, right? You can apply those bonus tokens to any category, so when you don't have enough tokens, you want to get a badge, you can utilize those bonus badge tokens. Now here's an example of bonus slots. There are 5 total rebounding badges, but I only have 4 badge slots available in the rebounding category. So I'm going to apply some bonus tokens so that I have enough tokens to put on all the rebounding badges, but of course, like I said, there's 5 rebounding badges, I only have 4 slots, so this is where I can utilize that bonus slot. So as you can see, I'm selecting the rebounding badges that I want, I'm filling those 4 slots that I have available, but there's another rebounding badge that I want to put on. So I'm going to utilize one of my bonus slots. Clicking that R3 button again, going over to the slot section, I'm going to go down to rebounding, and I'm going to add a 5th slot available in the rebounding category. Once I apply that slot, I can then go in, spend the rest of my tokens on that 5th rebounding badge, and then I'm able to unlock all 5 rebounding badges on this hypothetical center build that you're looking at right here. So optimizing your build to the fullest, you're going to have to utilize those bonus slots and bonus tokens. Now we're going to go down and break down this whole synergy thing. Fuse badge slots grant a +1 or 2 level boost for the full game at no token cost. Any badge meeting its requirement can be slotted here. Now we slide down to reaction badges. Reaction badges link to fuse badges. Trigger the fuse badge enough times in a game to boost the linked reaction badge 1 or 2 levels for the rest of the game. The reaction badge list is limited to those associated with the fuse badge. We're going to break all this down in more detail, but we're running through this tutorial right now, so bear with me. I know it can be a lot. And then over here on the right side of the screen, eligible synergy badge boosts and potential token refunds appear here. Alright, so let's break all this down, and then we're going to talk about a bunch of different possibilities on how to utilize this type of stuff. Alright, so down in the synergy, your fuse badge is going to be a +1 or +2, depending on which fuse badge you use, at all times, right? And this is how you can push your badges to legend. The only way to push your badges to legend is in the synergy slot. You can't get legend badges from your attributes this year. Okay, so for example, I'm going to put my Hall of Fame rebounding badge down in the fuse slot in the synergy section to get a +1 and push it to legend. At the same time, you're going to see I just got a bunch of rebounding tokens back. You get refunded
this fire.
those
I mess with
tokens
this.
that you use down there. It's similar to core badges in 2K23. Anything you put down there in the fuse slot, you're going to get refunded tokens for those. So it's going to be really important how you utilize those slots, not only for the +1s and 2s, but also in terms of maximizing your token output on your builds. Because check it out, now that I got refunded those tokens, I can remove those bonus badges that I added, and now I can apply those bonus badges to another category because I just got a bunch of rebounding tokens back. I don't need to use the bonus tokens in the rebounding category anymore. It's definitely a bit overwhelming at first, and once you start doing it more and more, you start to realize like, maybe I shouldn't have put that badge in there because now I have all these tokens that I'm not even using in this category. Like it's just a lot to think about and consider when making your build. Obviously, all of these things are going to have to be unlocked. So initially off the rip, you're not even going to have to make some of these decisions. But once we start unlocking more slots, it's definitely going to be a lot of things to consider, and we haven't even gotten into like then you're trying to implement cap breakers and all types of things. Now, as I was saying, you're going to have to unlock these synergy badge slots, and I mean, check it out. Level 28 in a crew. The next +1 that you can unlock in the fuse slot is level 39 in a crew. Like, these are, you know, it's going to take a little bit of time. This is from the build specialization. I'm not sure at what level you get it, but you got to get it through build specialization. And then the last +2 you can get is earned at Legend 2 rep. Like, that's going to take, you know, that's going to be a long time. A lot of people aren't even going to get that one. So you definitely are going to have to grind for some of these synergy fuse badge slots. But let's continue on, right? We can fill out these fuse badge slots and put certain badges that we want in there. But underneath that, we have reaction badges as well. Now, the reaction badge, as they said, it ties to the fuse badge. You do not get that reaction badge +1 or +2 all game long. You have to activate the reaction badge by using the fused badge above it a certain number of times in a game. So you're going to want to coordinate which badges you put in the reaction category to the badge you have in the fuse category. For example, if there's a badge you know you're going to use a lot, like if you're a center, you might want to fuse your brick wall badge and then tie your standing 3-point badge to it. Because you know I'm going to be setting a lot of screens. So after I set, 3, 4, 5 screens, whatever the specific number is, then my standing 3-point shot badge is going to get that boost for the rest of the game.
That's
use
fire.
a badge in the fuse category that you know you're going to use all the time. You'll notice that the reaction badges are flashing because it's not a permanent boost until you activate it. So it's showing, my set and fire badge is silver, but it will turn gold once I use brick wall enough times in a game. My paint patroller is silver, but once I use rise up enough times in the game, it will turn gold. Making sure you're using fuse badges that you're going to activate very often in the game is going to be a key to optimizing your build's full badge potential. Another thing to pay attention to is not all badges link from reaction to fuse. For example, I just linked my set and fire badge to my brick wall badge, but if I was trying to link my set and fire badge to my snatcher rebounding badge, you see it does not show up because they feel that set and fire doesn't associate with snatcher, but they feel it does associate with brick wall. So sometimes you're going to see, like, you might put a badge in the fuse slot and then go to look to put a different badge in the reaction category, and you're going to be like, why is it not showing up? It's because it's saying it does not link to that fuse badge. I don't know exactly which badges link with others. Obviously that's going to be something that we're going to have to figure out as the year goes on. But something I did notice was, like I said, set and fire linked with brick wall, but it did not link with snatcher. Something to pay attention to, and another decision to make when deciding which badges to put in your fuse and reaction slots. The last thing I want to talk about is cap breakers. A question a lot of people were asking was, when you apply your cap breakers, once we unlock them and we apply them, are we going to get more badge tokens depending on where we put our cap breakers? I asked that question and I was told you do not receive any extra badge tokens depending upon where you put your cap breakers. So make sure, if you're planning on making one of those builds where you start with a 53-pointer and then you're going to cap break it all the way up to a 90, or, you know what I mean? We found some glitchy cap breakers last year. I'm sure we're going to find some this year. Make sure you have enough badge tokens in that category to actually use those badges that you're going to be getting from the cap breakers. Obviously, you can unlock those bonus tokens that we talked about, so you could even use those bonus tokens in that category. That way, you're really utilizing your cap breakers and your tokens to their fullest ability. But it's just, I know a lot of people were asking me that and nobody really had the answer, so I wanted to make sure I told y'all. When I asked them, they told me no more badge tokens will be allocated based on where you apply cap breakers. Whatever badge tokens you get from applying your attributes, those are the badge tokens you're going to have on your build. And then of course there's a ton of things to unlock with the slots and the bonus tokens and the synergy slots and all that we broke down in this video. But that is the official builder breakdown for NBA 2K27. If y'all want to check out the
not bad
breakdown, click that video on the screen right there. Learn all about new features and what changed going into NBA 2K27. Appreciate y'all watching. Peace.